I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Monday, December 11th, 2017. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to say a few things, mostly about your weeklies. I plan to do your weeklies today and to make them happen, but like one unexpected thing kept coming up after another today. Of course, transit Saturn is in a conjunction with my natal Uranus. So it's not like super surprising that a bunch of unexpected things came up today, but it is a little frustrating because I had planned to do your weeklies and to get them out there, and I just didn't get time to film them until late tonight. Okay, by the time I finished filming them was maybe like an hour ago, around 11:30. That doesn't count me uploading the videos and editing the videos, which is going to take me another 4 or 5 hours to do, and I'm getting a little bit of a sore throat. So I don't know if your weeklies are going to go up today. If you still think it's worth it for me to post them, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do it tomorrow when I get home from work and do that. Okay, but it's just like with everything going on, it's been really crazy for me to get to those and make those happen. And on top of that, on top of it just being really crazy with me doing your weeklies, or it's hard for me to get to your weeklies too, these forecasts for today that I did film were also kind of interesting and a little bit different than normal, just because we are kind of at like such a major point in the astrology with things changing in a really big way. And I almost feel like as I was doing these horoscopes that there was nothing in it that I was saying that I did not already tell you. You know, like I like to think that I've been good at communicating with you guys about what's going on and about what's in my head. Or at least I hope I have been. And so I think that's another thing that made these horoscopes kind of hard too, where it's like I really don't know what to tell you because I feel like I've said it all. You know, this week is not a week, I'm just going to be honest, to make major changes and to reinvent the wheel and to do everything to make everything fall into place. Like, that's not what this week is about. Just to be clear, this week is about receiving. This week is about accepting. This week is about letting what is meant to be in your life come into it and letting what is meant to leave your life to leave it. Really, that's really like what's going on here. And I think that's really hard for me because I like to give you advice in your horoscopes. I like to arm you with new perspectives and tools and things like that. And this week is one of those really hard weeks where it's like I really don't have anything to say that can help. It's really what I see this week all about is like reaping what you sow. You know, it's like for the past 2.5 years of Saturn being in Sagittarius, we've been putting in the work to get things done, to do what needs to be done, to make all of this stuff happen. And now that Saturn is about to leave Sagittarius in a week, it leaves like what, next Tuesday? It's no longer about working. It's no longer about putting in the work and making the commitments. Like, that should have already have been done. It's all about reaping the benefits of all of the work that you did earlier and letting all of that come to you now. Okay, and so that's why it was hard for me, because it's like if you haven't done the work beforehand, you know, and if you haven't, it's like now is it like I almost want to say that like now it's too late. Now it's too late to reinvent the wheel, to make a bunch of things happen, to start to kick things into gear, you know. And that's kind of hard for me to say because I like to believe in free will. You know, I believe that there are certain things in our life that we're meant to go through at certain times, but I think how we experience these certain things that we're destined to go to, I like to think that we do have a good bit of free will to change our responses, to change the flavor of these things that we're destined to go through, to handle them in a much better way, even if we still have to go through them. And I think that's why today has been interesting. Filming these horoscopes was interesting, is because I want to tell you you have choices. And I want to tell you you can change things. I want to tell you there are things you can do. But I feel like this week, one of those weeks you have to accept, you have to receive, you have to let in what needs to come in. I know I just said that, and let go what needs to go. And just wait this one out and ride it out. You know, and I think if you can just ride it out here, then once we get on the other side of it all, then there's going to be more to say and more to do and more to make happen. But it's just right now that we're making this transition from Saturn in Sagittarius to Saturn in Capricorn, that it's just a little hard. Okay, So that's what's going on. Back to the topic. That's why that's part of the reason why your weeklies were a little difficult for me and why they aren't up yet too, is because I wasn't sure of what to say that I haven't already said. And I didn't want to say the same things over again, since I already said a lot of it in your monthlies. But I'm trying to figure that out there. That's going in. So that's what's happening with me. Sorry, I'm all over the place. By the way, all these Sagittarius planets that are happening today are like in an exact opposition with all my Gemini. I have a Gemini stellium, so I'm like kind of like super spacey with all of the Sagittarius stuff, feeling, especially being kind of late right now, trying to figure out what to say. Especially because my Gemini, you know my Gemini, I have my Virgo South Node too, likes to be detailed for you and likes to be very disciplined, and all the Sagittarius is saying, you gotta think big picture, you gotta give everyone that watches your videos the big picture, the story so far of what's happening, and I'm trying to adjust to that the best I can and give that to you, even though it feels a little uncomfortable. Okay, so that's what's going on. Anyways, to end that and to start talking about what's going on today, to give you that, I'm going to go into today's horoscope. And what's happening here is that we actually have the moon. Well, in this chart it's in Libra, but where it was yesterday is it was in Virgo, the very last degrees of Virgo right here, where it was making a square over to Saturn. So at the very end of yesterday, we were making some commitments here to something new that we have not done before, that we've been working out for quite some time, and we've been figuring out how to integrate this new thing into your daily life, to make it real, to make it practical, to do it, and to put a plan in place to sustain it. Okay, I think that's a lot of what was going on yesterday. All right, as we went through yesterday, towards the end of the day, we had the moon here move into Libra, where it became a lot about relationships and a lot about finding the balance in our life. All right, with the moon, the very beginning degrees of Libra, in a like a little out of sign square coming in here with Saturn, since Saturn's at the very last degrees of Sagittarius. There could have also been some things late last night or late yesterday as well. Sorry, I have a little bit of a sore throat after today. Excuse me. So yesterday, as we were trying to make a plan to make some commitments to do something new in our life, there could have been some stuff with relationships that came in towards the end of the day too. And with the out of sign square coming in, here we are, to Saturn in the 9th house from Libra, there could have been some commitments that you were making as well in relationships. Not just committing to a daily routine to sustain something new, but also new relationships as well to help you move forward on your journey and do something new that it is that you have not done before. So I think it was a lot of that was happening at the end of yesterday. And I think after trying to strategize about your life, put in the plan to make this new thing real and to work with people to help you move forward, today gives you a good day, to be honest, just to chill and just to hang. And just to understand things and assess your life and figure out what's going on in life, and to take a step back, okay, to think about things and to see what's happening, okay. That's because after the moon moved into Libra here last night and made this out of sign square with Saturn, it's just going to hang out in Libra for most of the day here until 10 o'clock at night. So we're talking from like midnight this morning, 12 a.m. this morning to 10 o'clock at night. The moon's just going to hang out in Libra, not doing anything. And you all know when the moon does not do anything, neither do we. We don't really get much done either. And if we do get things done, it doesn't really stick. And so I think after we have this major readjustment of our life, trying to align with the new thing, trying to do the new thing, trying to make it happen, and trying to go there and work with new relationships, we begin to take a step back to assess our life, to look at it, to think about what's going on, and to like be okay with this thing, to like reacquaint ourselves with the life that it is that we're in, being a major thing. Of course, Libra as well, ruling the court system and judges too. So Libra likes to judge things. Maybe after all of this stuff, crazy stuff has happened, as we're trying to do something new and figure some things out, we finally take a step back to judge our life. Is this good? Do we like this? Do we not? Did things go in the way that we wanted to go? And I think that is what you're thinking about. for most of the day today, really trying to assess what has happened, to feel okay with it, okay, to figure things out so that you can start to move forward with a clearer, hopefully more objective view of what is happening and where things are going. All right. And after the moon does that for most of the day at 10 p.m., it's going to come into a sextile from Libra with Venus, again, really helping you to have new relationships. I think that's going to be a big thing. Have new people in your life or new chapters with people, especially coming in at the nighttime. And one other thing that you could get with this is a new perspective on life, a new lease on life coming in, thinking about your life in different ways too, being a big thing. I see that also being a big thing as well with the moon during the day, also going to make a quincunx over to Neptune. It's a minor aspect, but quincunxes do bring readjustment in some way, but also having to change the way you think about life, having to change the way you relate to life as well, with Neptune and Pisces ruling your insides. As you're assessing your life, as you're looking back at whatever is happening to you, whatever you're receiving, and whatever is coming to you here, needing to also change your internal states, change your emotional responses, and get right spiritually. I think that's a big thing as well with everything that's happening, so that you can accept where your life is going and begin to move forward on it, okay? To see things differently, to let new perspectives in, to just totally reinvent yourself and be remade into something new and different. And I think this is the time that we're being remade, that like we're reworking and rewiring our insides, and that's all going to happen in like the course of a week. It's like everything that we've been doing for 2.5 years, we're all of a sudden downloading, and the course of a week is all of a sudden hitting us, is all of a sudden coming at us. And I think this is what we're trying to figure out most of the day with the moon in Libra. The quincunx to Neptune here is, how can we integrate all of this? How can we accept it? How can we move forward on it and do it in a way that works and that's good, and readjust our life moving forward? And how can we start to feel comfortable with it and as we do this new thing? And I think that that's just what is happening, that we're trying to figure out. And I think if you can do that, I think if you can readjust your perspective and your mindset and really take a step back to look at life and what's going on, not only is that going to help you have some new relationships, feel more comfortable about your life, have the right perspective, it's also going to help you here where the North Node is in your 5th house, to be happier, to do something that you enjoy, and to move forward on some plans and some things that it is that you really need to do at this time. Okay, so that's essentially what I see going on today. I'm sorry that was all over the place. My mind is just all over. My throat's hurting a little bit, and this Sagittarius is making my Gemini work overtime. So it's just been a little crazy, but I hope that that made sense. Other things going on in the background. I mean, you've got like this big cluster of planets going on here, bringing up a lot of confusion here as you're doing something new, as you're trying to make a new commitment. Maybe some confusion here, and maybe some hurt feelings about this new thing that it is that you're doing. Of course, with Mercury and Venus making the squares over here to Neptune and to Chiron, but really having to finally figure out once and for all how to push through the confusion, how to push through the hurt feelings, to finally begin to commit to doing something new, and how to be okay and how to be comfortable doing that new thing. Like, this is really it. This is it. This is the time for all of that to happen, and I think that's what's going on. Okay, I would give you a little bit more, but I think I've said everything that I needed to say. Maybe it didn't come out the most coherently, but I think that's the best I can give you guys for tonight. All right, so your card for the day is the Knight of Swords, upright. This is a card of not being able to get any sleep. This is like, am I sure this card isn't like just for me? This is the card of not being able to get any sleep, being worried about something that's going on in some way, having a lot on your mind, so much on your mind. Your thoughts are driving you crazy. And I think what's happening here is that you need to not be so worried. You need to not stress yourself out. You know, I think there's so much in the air right now, especially with all this Sagittarius fiery, passionate stuff coming that we're waiting to come, that hasn't come yet. And I think we're just like waiting for like everything to fall into place, you know, for our soul to meet our body, for everything from the past 2.5 years, like I mentioned earlier, to catch up to us in some way. And I think maybe that's why we're worried, and I think maybe that's why it's hard for us to sleep. as we're in anticipation of a lot of these things that are going on. And I think what we need to do here today is to just calm down, calm yourself, relax, think about things objectively, assess your life in a way that is better for you so that you don't let your fears get the best of you. When you get this card, a lot of times it's your fears that are bad. Like the thing that's happening to you in your life with this card most of the time isn't bad. It's the way that you think about your life that is bad. And I think what you need to realize here is that things aren't as bad as you think they are, and to adjust your perspective, because thinking things are bad when they are not can ultimately create like a bad thing, you know, and you don't want to create a bad thing just because your mind is not in the right headspace. And I think today is a good day to calm your nerves and if you're anxious, to do something that you can to stop being so anxious, okay, so that you can fully accept and receive whatever it is that's coming and step into it in a way that is feeling much more at peace, and in a way that won't like jinx your own progress, you know. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna leave today with. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna upload this, and then I'm going to go to bed. So alright, I hope you enjoyed my forecast for today. If you like it, please like on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.